it's the last battle. And I've been talking about this a lot, frankly, for a year now. Bitcoin has been separated from crypto in the minds of the market, the media, and most investors. Investors that actually have money, they see Bitcoin as like saving and investing, and then crypto is gambling. And so, in just paying attention to like the media landscape, I've had enough bandwidth the last couple of years after startup mode to start paying attention to basketball again, which is awesome. It ain't the 90s, it's not the Bulls and the Sonics, but the product's pretty good and the players are talented. But all of the advertisement is either crypto or sports gambling. And it's only those two things. And interestingly, I now have a whole different view of like sports media because I work in Bitcoin and observe this other thing called crypto and how they do things. And now I realize that almost all of sports is fueled by gambling. Almost exclusively. Like all the media content is not about, what's this interesting in-depth interview about this athlete as a person. No, it's like the injury report so that somebody can change their fantasy football lineup or, change the third leg in their 7-leg parlay. And it's all kind of just a regressive tax on people that are gambling to try to get 10x or 100x ahead on what they're gambling instead of putting a little bit away and saving for the long term. And that's what really is at play. It's basically saving versus gambling is Bitcoin versus crypto and sports gambling in Vegas and Macau and all of these things that go back millennia. This is not new. We saw people like playing dice in Rome, Well, I wasn't there, but I know they were playing, little gambling games and stuff. And it's just the education of the lower and middle classes that you have a way now to get ahead by just saving a little bit, whatever you can, and putting that into Bitcoin. I mean, we've seen that more and more people see it that way and that it's working out for them because there was just a massive pleb class that came in like 17, 18, and it's changed their lives since then, just by stacking daily or weekly since 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. It's a big, big boost and helping them get their parents retired and buying cottages or whatever it is, like it's changing things for people further down the economic ladder, which is beautiful. So I just hope more and more people realize that there is a way to save now that doesn't require being a hedge fund manager and that doesn't require permission to access. That's the main thing. Like anybody can do it. And that's never existed before. It's got me thinking, by the way, and I think like you basically take that, the big square of the store of value and it's like, well, Bitcoin's down here and here's stocks and here's bonds and here's real estate and art and all this stuff. And it's like you take that entire 1 quadrillion box and then you add another 1 quadrillion box next to it, which is that people will store more value instead of wasting it or spending it or gambling it. It won't flow into the earnings of the gambling complex. It will get stored. The example of, if Uber was going to take some percentage of the cab market, that kind of sucks. But if they were going to expand dramatically the size of the market, expand the TAM, the total addressable market, well, that's a big business. I saw another example of this. It was some kind of, I think it was SOC 2 compliance. So just think about security, right? Like it's important to partners of ours. We work with like registered investment advisors and, wealth managers and shit like that. And they want to know that like, okay, are you guys SOC 2 compliant? This is like security things. And that was really, really expensive. And the total TAM for that annually in the US was like $100 million a year. And a startup was like, well, we're going to do that better. And it was really hard for them to raise because they were like, what, you're going to take 10% share and make $10 million a year? Who cares, right? They make $100 million a year now because they expanded the market dramatically because people want that credibility of SOC 2. All their partners are asking for it. They just couldn't afford it before it was made easier. And so now we are making, well, not we, Bitcoin itself, thanks to Satoshi, has made storing value easier. So it's more attractive to store value than to do other things with your value.
No, it's fantastic. And from an Austrian economics perspective, this is the process of civilization, having a lower time preference. That's the delayed gratification, saving up fish in order to save up time to construct a fishing net or a fishing rod to catch more fish per per time unit. That is civilization. Savings is the thing, and that is what fiat has destroyed, to the point where everyone's a gambler, and that is what's destroying civilization. And the ability, giving back the ability to save to the people is the process of civilization, like coming back and making us civilized again. And how ironic then that the Bitcoin conference is in Las Vegas this year. But yeah, it is low time preference, and that is what this game is all about.